Hey guys, thanks so much for coming back, and I have another really great treat for you today. We are here with my friend Chris Sweet. He is the owner of Swamp Rabbit Moving here in the upstate South Carolina. And I felt like a video about moving and questions that you're looking up on the internet and the 5 questions you should ask your mover. Why don't we talk to someone who's an expert in that field? So many of you that watch these videos are asking questions about who's a great mover to get me to Greenville, or hey, we're packing up the house. Is there anything that I need to make sure that I pack a certain way in order to move it? Well, we haven't moved in 20 years. So questions like that. So I brought Chris along, and I'm really excited to get into this with you. So let's get to it. Sorry, nope, redo. All right, guys, so I want you to meet a really good friend of mine. Hey guys, so super cool video coming to you. We are out on Main Street. Did I say anything else? It's just really short. I love how people mysteriously get on their phones as soon as they see us. Local installment about the coffee shop. Freaking stop. So, Chris, how long have you had your moving business?
Yeah, so I've had Swamp Rabbit Moving for a little bit over 2 years. We started in October 2020.
Gotcha. Pandemic. So how was that starting a moving company in October of 2020? Like, we're in lockdown basically.
For sure. I kind of feel bad saying it because I know a lot of businesses struggled, but like I could not have picked a better time to start a moving company.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that had to do with the interest rates.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've had the business for about 2 years, and we've seen an influx of people that are moving here to the upstate. Do you help people from out of state move here?
We do. So we've actually done a move where South Carolina wasn't even correlated to it at all.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we've done like Maryland to Colorado. Rare instance because obviously it costs a little bit more money, but it was just a friend of a friend that wanted to use us.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll go in, we'll go pick people up, bring them in, or we'll take people out.
Okay.
Whichever way.
Okay. So let's go for one of those like stereotypical questions. Is it easier for me to just pack up myself for you to pack your truck? Is it going to save me money, or is it worth it to have a moving company like come in and actually pack me up and then move me?
For sure. So to answer your questions, it's not going to be easier, obviously, because you're going to have to do the work to pack.
Right.
But it will be more cost effective for you.
Okay.
A good thing that a lot of people doesn't realize that all moving companies, if they don't pack the box, they're not responsible for what's broken inside the box. Because there's no way to know if it was packed appropriately or not. Okay. So it's called PBO, which is packed by owner. Any legitimate moving company does not cover a box not packed by them. Okay. Just for liability purposes, their insurance would deny the claim. Okay. All that good stuff.
Gotcha.
So if you got a lot of nice, valuable stuff and you're moving a long distance, I would recommend adding the packing service to it. Okay. One, you save time, it's less stressful, and then also you know your items are insured in case anything gets broke during transit. Okay. Local, if you're just moving right down the road, I would probably, you do what you want, but I would probably suggest pack yourself. Okay. Unless you don't have time.
Gotcha. So whenever you are, quoting moves for people, how do you go about quoting like the prices? Because I've heard a lot of different ways, like size, weight. Yeah. How does that work?
So if anything inside the state of South Carolina where we don't cross state lines, we charge hourly. Okay. The hourly charge varies by how many trucks, how many guys you need on a job, which when you call one of our moving consultants, they'll go through the inventory process with you, and then they'll gauge how many guys and trucks you need. Okay. And then that will set your hourly rate. If it crosses state lines, we go by weight. Okay. So we charge per 100 pounds. Okay. When we cross state lines.
Got it.
Yes.
So whenever you give those estimates, is that something that you give an estimate and it's like, this is how much it's going to be? Or will that estimate kind of fluctuate based upon like if it's weight versus time?
Yeah. So the out-of-state jobs are hard binding quotes. So the rate you get is the rate you get.
Gotcha.
We don't change it on you.
Okay.
But the in-state jobs, it is just an estimate because it's hourly.
Yeah.
We have a 2-hour minimum. After the 2 hours, it's charged by the minute.
Okay.
So we don't like round up. We don't like round up to the next hour.
Gotcha.
To the exact minute.
How often do you think you go over time limits with people?
Yeah, so that's a KPI we track all the time. So we're right around -6% on our estimate accuracy.
Okay.
So overall, in the grand scheme of things, we're overestimating jobs by 6% on an average, which is a good thing. So we try to stay either 10 below or 10 above is like a sweet spot for us. And we always usually overestimate rather than underestimate.
Yeah, that sounds like a smart thing to do.
For sure.
And I've met some of your guys, like they're great. There are, so you definitely need to check out Google reviews, Facebook reviews, anywhere else that they should go check reviews.
Those are the two. We don't really do with Yelp much.
Okay.
So just Google and Facebook.
Yeah. So definitely, like, one of the things that I love seeing on Chris's social media page is he's always showing the different reviews and things people are saying about his moving company. And to me, like, that says so much about a business that people are willing to share that information.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're moving within the state, or like if you're looking to relocate here and you want Chris's team to come get you, like, absolutely, I'll make sure his contact information's in the description. So tell me a little bit more, like, what's the most interesting thing you've ever had to move?
Interesting.
Or awkward?
Awkward is like a bit. There was I forgot what year it was. It was just like an antique mirror, and it had like all the detail, like intricate detail molding around it. And it was massive, like 7 feet big, like
Holy
7
crap.
feet wide.
Yeah.
Super scary, but we just crated it. We built a special crate for it specifically, out of wood, styrofoam on the inside, and made sure it was set in there properly. That way it was secure during the whole move, and it made it just fine.
Yeah, okay. Gosh, I always wonder about that. I see pictures every so often of something crazy being moved. Your trucks look like a giant game of Tetris.
Yes, it is. It's adult Tetris is what we call it.
Did you like playing Tetris
as
a kid?
I did.
See?
Yes.
It correlates. So the awkward things, like, do you move like big crazy things? Like, I don't know, I've had clients or even people that are like, hey, move my hot tub.
Yep.
Would you do something like that?
Yep, so we move hot tubs quite frequently.
Okay.
Baby grand pianos.
Got it.
The only thing that we really don't move too much is pool tables, but we have somebody that we work with closely that we can just third party it out to.
Oh, okay.
Just because of the difficulty of taking the felt off and relaying the felt and all that stuff.
Oh, wow. I would have never imagined that you have to do that with a table like that.
Yep.
Huh. I always wondered how they get them in and out of places.
Yeah, so it's like 3 pieces of slate, and they just take the felt off and take the slate off and move it.
Huh. Interesting. So what was your, like, you've been doing this for 2 years now. You have a team of guys that are absolutely amazing. Your administrative help, I've met a bunch of them as well, and they're super personable.
Yep.
So I know that you're very intentional about, like, being authentic with your people. So I guess, like, just another authenticity question, like, what was your favorite move that you've ever done?
Favorite move?
Yeah.
Favorite move. We've moved Jack Leggett. We've moved Dabo and Kathleen Sweeney.
Oh, okay. So we've moved some very well-known South Carolinians.
Not directly through them, but through their interior designers.
Yeah.
So, like, their interior designers will hire us to come and like bring stuff to the lake house or wherever.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So those were pretty cool moves. And then when I was actually on the truck, I always loved, like, just going on the road. I think Texas was probably my favorite. We had a job to Austin.
Yeah.
It was just cool to get out there and see the road.
Gotcha. So I mean, now again, stereotypical question, like you're licensed, bonded, insured, right, through all the right companies.
Yep, so we got a state license, which is through the South Carolina Utility Commission. And then we're licensed federally for out-of-state jobs through the FMCSA.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. So anybody that is looking at moving companies, they need to make sure that they have those licenses.
For sure.
Yeah.
And you can find, if somebody is licensed for long distance move, you can find it on saferfmcsa.gov.
Okay.
And you can look them up by name or US DOT number.
Okay, gotcha. I'll make sure that we get that address as well and put it in the description. Because I think a lot of times people go off of recommendations, or they go, oh, this guy's really cheap, or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's, I would love to say, like, it's okay to check people out.
For sure.
Make sure that they actually are licensed and they have everything they're supposed to.
For sure.
Because there's a lot of startup companies around here.
Yes.
For sure. I know that they specifically here in Greenville, I hear about them all the time.
Yep.
So what makes you different, your company, Swan Private Movers, like what makes you guys different from the other companies that are around here in the upstate?
Yeah, I think it's a little generic, but our culture. I mean, we're so heavy based in our culture. We're investing in our people, taking them out to outings, and also the impact we make in the community. So a percentage of revenue from all the jobs, whether we lose money or make money, goes to a charity of our choice, which is Fire Pit Ranch.
Yeah, I was saying, like, you're wearing their hat. I noticed that earlier.
And that kind of gives our guys a bigger purpose past the paycheck. It ties right back into culture. So we really dedicate ourselves to create a great culture.
Gotcha. So, and really quick, because someone else we talked to earlier this month, I think also is invested into Fire Pit Ranch. What is Fire Pit Ranch? I've heard about it a couple times.
Yeah, so they're a faith-based nonprofit, and they raise, or not raise, but they mentor young men between 5th and 12th grade through ministry, and I think 90% of the kids are without a father figure in their life. Okay. So they kind of step in and play that role through a faith-based ministry. Got it.
And so we'll definitely, that's something that I want to make sure we look at too, because a lot of the companies that we use and we talk to pour back into our communities. Yeah. And that's a huge culture thing.
I think it is.
Absolutely. So, I mean, and from business standpoint, so on, I think it's wonderful. So as we're kind of wrapping up here and bring us back to like the moving spectrum of things, what is something that someone that is moving, like you would want them to know? Maybe it's their first time moving, or maybe they're, moving into, they're downsizing. Like what do they need to know?
Yeah. I think there's a couple things you can hit on. I think when you're comparing moving companies, you can't really compare them apples to apples because, you might find one a little bit cheaper. That's amazing. Probably a unicorn, but essentially when it comes to moving, you pay for what you get. If somebody's barely making any money, if something gets damaged on your job, do you think they're going to fully replace it, or do you think they're going to stick to the contract?
Right.
Another good thing to know when you're moving is to read over the contract and really figure out what's covered. Is it a hard binding quote? Is it not a hard binding quote?
What's the difference?
So a hard binding quote means it's not going to change. The price is bound to what it is.
Okay.
A non-hard binding quote is essentially it can change. It can fluctuate, thousands of dollars difference. And I would always suggest never go through a moving broker. Never. Okay.
So tell me about that, because I know there's a lot of relocations happening.
Yes. So when you go through a moving broker, what they essentially do is they farm it out, so they sell it to another moving company. And when they sell the job, they don't sell it for what they should sell it for. They sell it for way cheaper, and then they leave it up to the moving company they sold it to raise your rates. Oh. So they're out here booking jobs for essentially already at a loss. So you're just bound to, it's never a good scenario to go through a broker. Okay, gotcha. There's a lot of reputable companies, a lot of reputable van lines. It's just good never to go through a broker. There's so many other options, and when it comes to moving, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Okay, yeah I know that as a real estate agent, relocation companies and so on, it's always harder.
Yes.
And dealing with that third party in the middle.
For sure.
So, okay, gotcha. Great. Well, is there anything that I haven't asked you or anything that you just really want to let people know about your industry or your company or just who you are?
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. I think Greenville has a lot of great moving companies. We're friends with a lot of them, and I think competition is a good thing, so we're glad that we have great competitions with friends and community. I think that we're a company based off community, and we show that through impact, and we show that through impacting our guys. Not necessarily for the job specifically, but we also lean into them on a personal aspect and help them try to grow, whether they're with us or not. So I think those are just different things that set us apart. I don't know, I kind of got jumbled up in my words.
It happens. So yeah.
Yeah.
Good. So competition's a good thing.
Competition is a good thing.
One, if you are looking for a mover and you want someone reputable, make sure you check out their licenses and everything like that. Check out Chris, check out their reviews, and thank you so much for answering so many questions. Like, there's just a lot of different things that I didn't think of when I first moved.
For sure.
So I thought that was really good. So
absolutely.
But yeah, so anything lastly you'd like to add?
If you got any questions about your move or about good tips or advice, even if you don't use us, don't hesitate to call. We're happy to answer any questions for free. We got videos, all kinds of videos on how to pack, what to know during your long distance moves, and we'll give them to you completely free. Just call and ask. We don't even have to move you. We're just here to help. Gotcha. Thank you so much. For sure. So guys, I hope this helped you. Make sure that you like and subscribe and you hit that little bell. And we will continuing to bring people to you here in the area, answering your questions, and let us know if you want Chris's information. I'll make sure that I put all of it down in the description. Other than that, catch you next time.